Hello and welcome back to another news video with me, Meoni, for Final Fantasy XIV. This time around we're briefly looking at the Moogle treasure trove, The Hunt for Mythology, Part 2. So if you don't know, previously we had an Itinerant Moogle event sort of like a few months ago before Shadowbringers came out, and now we apparently are having the second phase of that, a short stint of a second Itinerant Moogle event that runs up all the way until the launch of 5.1, which actually doesn't have a current set date, but is scheduled for late October. That's what they told us in the last live letter. So this Itinerant Moogle event will be taking place from Monday the 30th of September, so next week, all the way up until the launch of 5.1. So you might be wondering, well, is it just more of the same, and what exactly has changed? Well, let's have a look, shall we? So the first thing they show here are two images. One seems to show some fireworks, and the other this Mama Sheba earring. Yes, this will be the major reward this time around, similar to the Namazu earrings that we had previously from the last Itinerant Moogle event. So just a brief overview they give here if people don't know how the Itinerant Moogle events actually work. Essentially, you challenge certain objectives that have a Moogle icon next to them in the duty finder, and then you will collect irregular Tome Stones upon completion of that duty, and then you exchange them at the Itinerant Moogles. So you are able to earn these irregular Tome Stones all the way up until 5.1, but when 5.1 comes out, you'll no longer be able to earn them. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot exchange them, as we saw with the previous event, at pretty much any time unless they decide to run another Itinerant Moogle event in the future, in which case it'll probably change by then. So this time around there are a few changes to how you get your Tome Stones of Mythology, but like last time you'll get 10 Tome Stones of Mythology for doing the Praetorium, i.e. directly queuing for these dungeons specifically. These are not roulette queues, these are direct queues. So if you queue for the Praetorium, Castrum Praetorium that is, complete that, which is over an hour as you probably already know since there are unskippable cutscenes, then you will get 10 irregular Tome Stones of Mythology. Castrum Meridianum, then you will get 7 Tome Stones of Mythology. And brand new for this Itinerant Moogle in particular is that you can actually get 5 irregular Tome Stones of Mythology by completing the Borderlands Ruin Secure, Seal Rock Seas, the Fields of Glory Shatter, and Hidden Gorge PvP. So obviously this is a lot faster than some of the other methods, so yeah, that might be a really good time, especially since 5.1 is the end of the Garrow event, so the end of you earning your gear, essentially, that's going to be gone away forever. So if you like the Garrow stuff, you might want to get into PvP, and starting on Monday, a lot of people will be getting back into PvP, and specifically these 4 duties to actually get their irregular Tome Stones as well. So it's sort of like you kill 2 birds with 1 stone sort of thing. Again, we get 3 Tome Stones of Mythology by completing the Labyrinth of the Ancients, Circus Tower, the World of Darkness, the Tamtara Deepcroft, Copperbell Mines, the Thousand Moors of Totorak, the Sunken Temple of Khan, and the Stone Vigil. So all of those actually give 3 this time, instead of the Labyrinth of the Ancients being spammed back to back to back, which is what we did last time. So yeah, they've sort of shaked up the formula a little bit and sort of realized what people were doing and sort of expanded it. So it should be a lot easier to obtain your Tome Stones of Mythology with a lot more variety and obviously a lot more things to do for your rewards, which is ultimately better for the grind overall. So like we say before, you can go to any of the Itinerant Moogles. These are the NPCs located in all 3 starting city-states. They have the coordinates on screen here, and essentially this is where you trade in your Tome Stones. Now the reward list below is quite lengthy, so let's go through this. So of course we have the ultimate reward this time around being the Mama Sheba earring, which costs 100 Tome Stones in total. That's going to take you a while, but honestly not that long if you do the PvP option, I don't think, which is definitely something I will be exploring this time around as well. So let's look at the 50 Tomestone tier. You can get the Falcon Ignition Key. This was previously a veteran reward, which you had to do this sort of like campaign of subscribing for so many days to actually obtain. Now you're actually able to earn it in the game, which is really cool because some people missed that campaign period, and this is basically your opportunity to get it once again. In addition to that, we have the Round Lanner and the Sophic Lanner whistles. So that's the Fordan Extreme mount and the Sophia Extreme mount there in particular. Those are actually pretty good. It's quite difficult to get those two. They drop very rarely if you've ever gone and done the bird farms. So yeah, that's really good. I might pick up those. In addition to that, for the other 50 tier, we have the Answers Orchestron roll, we have the Twilight over Thanalan Orchestron roll, On Windy Meadows Orchestron roll, and Whisper of the Land Orchestron roll. So if you need those in your collection, they will also cost you 50. You sort of have to like prioritize what you want from this event in sort of the order, and then, you know, maybe miss out on things if you get a bit bored after the grind. It's very key not to grind yourself out during this event because it's quite easy to do so. For the 30 Tomestone tier, we have kicking off some weapons. We have Thundercloud, the Behemoth Knives, the Behemoth Helm, the Behemoth Mask, Ring of Lasting Shelter, and the Pixie Earrings. They're all for 30. Then we have some actual riding maps. So these are maps that increase your speed in that particular area. So we have Middle Enotia all the way to Mordona. So all of the basic 2.0 areas have their riding maps on here. In addition to that, we have some more mounts. So we have the Drakehorn, the Laurel Gobu, the Elbst, and the Bomb Palanquin, all for 30. So those are the previous 2.0 Beast Tribe quest hubs. That's the mounts from those. So they make a return for 30 Tomestones apiece. We then have the Direwolf Whistle, the Gullifax Whistle, and the Markarb Whistle. So the Gullifax and Markarb are from the 2.0 Extremes, and these are the ponies. And we also have the Direwolf there as well. And finally, for that 30 Tomestone tier, we have an MGP Platinum card, which is redeemable when you click on it to get 50,000 MGP. So if you want MGP, maybe there's something from the Gold Saucer and you want to do it this way, which is not advised, then you can totally do that. So let's look at minions. We only have two this time around, and that is the Wind-Up Skatash minion and Wind-Up Exdeath. Both of these will cost you 7 Tomestones each. Skatash is invariably quite difficult to obtain. I still haven't got mine after all of these years. My RNG is terrible, so I might just get the 7 Tomestones to get that this coming week. Wind-Up Exdeath, not particularly as difficult, but you know, it's there if you want it. We also have the Odin card, Hancock card, the Progenitrix card, and Nidhogg card, all for 7 as well. Fibertigibet Orchestron roll for 7, the Peace of Mind Orchestron roll for 7, Crag Hearts, which are obviously from Titan, for 4, we have the Demi Materia of Crags for 1, and a set of 10 Magic Prism Job Mastery for 1. So that's those stars that you saw at the top above that Blue Mage. So if you want those, you can go and get them. And it is worth noting, as they put in red text here, that some of these rewards are locked behind you actually completing various quests to actually obtain the access to those dungeons, etc. So obviously bear that in mind if your character is brand new. So yeah, it's not a bad Itinerant Moogle event. These grind events are usually something that people are, you know, usually either have very extreme opinions on one way or the other. Some people absolutely hate grinding, and some people like myself just, you know, we live for this stuff, basically. And honestly, when it comes to the Mamasheba earring, that's going to be the top of my list. I have the Namazu one. It took me an Ice Age last time, and actually I'm looking forward to doing a bit of PvP. I know, it's crazy, but yeah, let me know what you think about this new Itinerant Moogle event, part 2, and yeah, and I'll see you all next time.